Hi, and welcome to Rec Sports Ask a Personal Trainer. Thanks so much to everybody who's been submitting questions. The question that was submitted that we've chosen to answer today is, how much does diet play in overall health and wellness? Eating right can go a long way towards protecting your health and improving your fitness. The path to success, remember, it's not about deprivation, but instead it's about focusing on being proactive and making high-quality food choices. So let's talk about some common nutrition goals and outcomes of good nutrition. The first would be to maximize energy. Some people don't think about the foods that they're putting in their body maximizing their energy throughout the day, but if you have the right quality foods going into your system, then you can have greater work output, greater performance in your workouts, and perform better in work, sport, and life. The second thing is losing body fat or losing body weight. If you choose the right foods, and you eat small portions frequently throughout the day to fuel that fire, it'll help you actually increase your metabolic rate, reduce body fat, and get in better shape. Another common goal would be to increase lean muscle mass. For those folks wanting to get big, jacked, whatever you want to call it, eating high quality foods multiple times throughout the day, higher caloric consumption of those quality foods can help you gain more muscle mass, stay lean at the same time. Alright, so now let's talk about the macronutrients. The first one we'll talk about is carbohydrates. A lot of people have a negative connotation when they hear the word carbohydrate, but in reality, carbohydrates are hugely important for your success with your nutrition program. Carbs are composed of sugars, starches, and fibers. They provide fuel for energy, and they're the brain's main source of energy to help you have a nice, high-quality thought process and to be able to perform during school or work. Simple carbohydrates are the sugars. We want you to intake less than 10% of your carbohydrate intake from sugars. Those are the things that you want to stay away from. What we really want you to put in your body is the complex carbs, which are starches and fibers. They should make up about 50 to 65% of your total caloric intake throughout the day. Some things you need to make sure that you remember when you're reading labels. Carbohydrate, for each gram of carbohydrate, it's 4 kilocalories. So when you're looking at a label, if it says this many grams of carbohydrate, you multiply that times 4, and that'll tell you how many total calories are coming from that carbohydrate source. Some good sources of complex carbohydrates are whole grains, cereals, brown rice, vegetables, and fruits. The second macronutrient that I'd like to discuss is protein. It helps promote growth and maintenance. It also helps increase synthesis, repair, and replace damaged or old tissues, and it also helps strengthen the immune system. The primary component or makeup of your DNA is also protein. The recommended intake of protein per day is about 0.6 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. If you are an advanced exerciser, you strength train really hard, you're an endurance athlete, you attend a lot of group fitness classes, you push yourself in your day, that's when you need even more protein. The maximum protein, though, that you should intake is 1 gram per pound of body weight. Remember, when you're reading labels, the number of calories per gram of protein is 4. So if you read the total number of grams of protein on the label, multiply it times 4, and that will tell you the total amount of calories that are coming from protein from that source. Some really high quality sources of protein are lean meats like fish, chicken, turkey, and beef. One way to remember how to get good quality protein is something we say called the less legs the better. So the best source of protein intake is typically fish, no legs at all, followed by your poultry, which is chicken and turkey, 2 legs. Then followed by your lean cuts of pork and beef, 4 legs. So remember, the less legs, the better. Some other good sources, especially for you people that don't eat meat, vegetarians, something like that, you have tofu, beans, nuts, peanut butter, and low-fat dairy products. The last macronutrient we'd like to discuss is fats. Fats are important. They're critical for good health. They're critical for cellular repair. They aid in cognitive ability, your mental clarity, and your memory retention. They also help regulate blood sugar and glycemic response. Remember that you should take in only about 20 to 30% of your total calories per day from fats. There are good quality fats and low calorie fats, so that's something to remember. Another thing to remember is that for each gram of fat that you take in, it's worth 9 calories. So when you look at a label, if it says that there are so many grams of fat, you multiply it by 9 to tell how many total calories are coming from fat in that product. We recommend less than 10% of your fats that you take in throughout the day are from a saturated source. Let's talk about good sources of fat and bad sources of fat. Some of the good sources of fat are your polyunsaturated fats. Things like flaxseed, things like olive oil, grapeseed oil. Those are some things that you should choose to cook with if you can. Another good source of fat are the monounsaturated fats. Nuts, avocados, and even canola oil are good sources. Now don't confuse good fats, meaning that you should take in a lot of these fats. You still need to make sure that you restrict that a little bit throughout the day, but those are at least your good choices. The bad fats are the saturated fats. Those are things like whole milk, fatty beef, coconut oil, and even candies, chips, things like that that have poor sources of fat. The absolute worst type of fat you can put in your body are the trans fats. Those come from fried food, cakes, cookies, chips. Remember, just because something says no trans fat on the label, it doesn't mean that it's good for you. So the trendy thing out there is having no trans fats, but remember, still read the label, because even if it doesn't have trans fats, it may not be something that's good to put in your body.
Clear your mind.
Stay in shape. Recharge your spirit.